let's start. Kristy, finally it's good to get you on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. Just waiting until you had a fight lined up. Now you have a fight lined up. Can you
Yes.
tell us the details of that fight? Because it seems like there's not much information about it yet, from the promotion.
Yeah, they seem to leave it quite late with the Warrior series with promoting it. So it's on Wednesday, December 4th. You can catch it live on the One app. Um, it'll be in Singapore. I think it starts about, well, depends where you are around the world, but 4 o'clock ish in Perth time. So I think that's all the details. Yeah.
Before we get into your opponent and your training camp and everything that that you have to deal with for fight camp, let's talk about you getting your start, because it seems like you have a striking background. Is that true?
Yeah. I started in Muay Thai.
Now talk about that. Coming up in Muay Thai. When did you first step in the gym to train Muay Thai?
I think I was probably about 25, and I I knew it was something I wanted to get into. There was a girl who I was working with who said she was training Muay Thai and was going to have a fight, and I just thought, oh, that sounds really cool. So um, I'd started my own business, so it took me a while to get there because I was kind of really busy with all of that. And when I finally made some time in my schedule, I just like went to a few gyms and found the gym that I thought was right for me. And I think like I was just right off the bat, I'm going to do this until I can get up to a fighting level. So yeah, I think it was about 5-ish years ago.
So you decided to put your business on hold and pursue this career in Muay Thai?
Um, Not on hold. I tried my best and have tried my best to kind of work both at the same time, which is challenging. But yeah,
So have you been doing both of those things the whole time throughout?
the whole time. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you mind if I ask you, like, what is the business that you're running?
yeah, yeah. So I'm run a personal training and like lifestyle coaching business. So it's just holistic health and just getting people to their happiest, healthiest self, whether that's mindset, physical stuff, fixing injuries, things like that. So yeah.
How do I get in contact with you? Let's say someone's watching this and they want to
Yeah.
get some professional help from you. How would we get in contact?
Um, Probably either through Facebook or Instagram would be the easiest. So either on my fight page, Kristy KO Obst, or my business page, which is Kristy Obst Mind Body Coaching. So yeah, either of those I'll respond to. So
All right. Well, hopefully some business comes your way. You need that extra cash, right?
absolutely.
Now, uh, you start with the striking, and what happened? Like, how many months did you train, or how many years did you train before you stepped into the ring to actually fight?
I think it was about a year. So um, I think I was there about 6 months ish, just in like the beginner intermediate classes, and then yeah, because I think it was just before like the Christmas break, and the coach said like next year we want you to come into the fighters class, which was like an invite only thing. So that was really exciting. And then yeah, I think my first fight was around June-ish. So yeah, about a year of from nothing to jumping in the ring for the first time.
You jump into the ring for the first time. What are the emotions like? Are you scared to death? A lot of guys, a lot of girls, they say when they first step in, they don't feel anything. They feel like it's a weird feeling, like it's fun. Their second fight, they feel scared. What was your feeling?
No, I was nervous as hell for the first fight. Like I was like in front of my family and my friends, and just going to do this big scary thing that I had put so much time and effort into, and the training camp. So all the emotions were there, and I was really nervous. I wasn't like super confident either. I didn't know what to expect. So I think I remember I was like standing at just before you kind of walk out wherever that was, and just thinking like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? How's this going to go? And then I was like, nah, that trophy is mine. I'm walking home with that tonight. And then, yeah, that's how I went into it. So I think you finish it, you can't remember a thing. So
After that, how long did it take for you to decide, okay, now I'm going to start trying to work on other aspects of martial arts, or, mixed martial arts, like the ground game, the wrestling, maybe even boxing, what did you add first?
So I did Muay Thai. I had 6 Muay Thai fights over a few years. I actually got a bit injured after that fight, so I had a bit of time off to just rehabilitate a little back injury. And then I just wanted to get back into Muay Thai, and I was always interested in MMA, but I just found it was like there was so much to learn, and it was so broad, and I was just learning this one aspect, and I thought it would just kind of be too hard to learn everything, and that maybe I was too old to kind of get started. That's just the thing that I had kind of running through my head. So when I wanted to kind of change up my striking a little bit, the first thing I did was add some boxing, one-on-one boxing sessions in, just to kind of work on my hands, footwork, different angles, stuff like that.
Then after that, what came along?
Yeah. So after my last Muay Thai fight, I got pretty sick, and I had about a year off training, and I kind of thought I would never be able to compete again. And then after that year of like dealing with my health and getting that back on track, I really wanted to get back into some form of martial art, never thinking that I would fight again. But I thought I'll just go give a jiu-jitsu class a try, like why not? And then found a class that worked for me with my work and my time schedule, and yeah, it kind of just went from there.
How did it go, in the beginning, getting into the grappling aspect of the sport? Because if you look at a lot of strikers, they don't like getting to the ground. They kind of want to just do it as a defensive, I guess a defensive weapon compared to like an offensive weapon. But it seems like, you have embraced the ground game.
Yeah, I love it. I just think there's so much to learn in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and all that grappling stuff. Like my Muay Thai gym that I originally started with, like we did a lot of clinch work, and so I think doing that it really helped kind of transfer a little bit into the grappling side. And yeah, from the first moment I did jiu-jitsu, I knew nothing, and I was just like, this is really cool. So yeah, I've definitely embraced it. Not that many fights have really gone there, but I love the grappling side of it just as much as the striking.
So you put everything together, you decide, okay, I'm going to get into competing MMA. You go into the amateur ranks, you knock off 2 in a row, good performances. Then you suffer your first loss. Talk about going into that fight, because Casey O'Neill, she's one of the best fighters right now.
Absolutely.
Right next to you, as a professional in Australia. You guys are just 2 of the top women coming up. Talk about that fight and kind of like what impact it had on you afterwards and moving forward.
It was a really cool experience. It was the first time I'd ever gone away from home to fight. So the whole thing was exciting, flying away and being in a different space, and just the whole thing, being in someone else's hometown as well. So the whole thing was really cool. The loss, I'm quite a self-critical person. So I took the loss hard in the sense that I always criticize my fights in a good and a bad way, I guess, to learn and to grow. But I think having that loss kind of makes you look at it a little bit through like a harsher lens. So it took a while to kind of get through that kind of criticism on myself and see the good things that I did in that fight because of the result. But after a little while, I started to really notice like how well I did, particularly in, because a lot of that was like grappling exchanges, and I think I'd only been doing that for like 7 months. So I was pretty happy with my performance, even when I stuffed a few things up. And yeah, so it was good because I think it just made me more motivated, and in the sense like, okay, I see what I did wrong there, and there, and I'm never going to let that happen again. So I think it's a positive thing. And yeah, Casey's like the best at the moment. So I think to have a loss to her is it's pretty cool. So yeah.
Well, it's a fight that I think if things happen right, it's gonna happen eventually as professionals, and you guys will be totally different fighters, and I see a totally different fight happening. It's gonna be. I want to see that fight. I want to see you guys fight in the future. Not right now. I want to see you guys develop more and add more
Yeah.
tools to the to the tool belt, and clash in a title fight or something. Who knows what could happen in the future, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, definitely. I think I always make a big point of going back to training and putting as much effort into learning and adding to my toolkit as I'm sure everyone does. So yeah, that would be a really cool thing in the future. Be good to
As
see
someone
the
being, yeah.
progression.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be huge. I've talked to Casey a few times, and she's always trying to improve herself, just like you. You know, what I mean, I see you guys doing big things. Both you guys doing big things in the future. After being, after taking that loss, you're very self-critical. You step back in because a lot of people could give up. You know what I mean? Like as an amateur, there's like, oh man,
Absolutely.
I don't, like that feeling. I didn't like that feeling. Maybe I don't want to feel that again. But you're like, you
Mm.
brushed it off. You went back in. You get that TKO finish. How relieving was that for you after you go in there and it's your first finish as a mixed martial artist
Yeah.
also.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was cool. I think it's a funny thing with me, like you know you can do it and you work for it, but there's one thing in like, oh yeah, I know I could finish someone, and to actually finish someone, I think it was like a relief, like I can actually do this, like a bit of self confirmation in a sense. Yeah, so that was really cool. I was super happy with that.
How long after that did you decide, okay, now I'm actually ready to turn pro, or was there nobody left as an amateur to fight? Were you forced to turn pro, or was it kind of like a conscious decision between you and your coaches?
I don't think I thought I was ready to turn pro. Ryan was just like, "This is what's happening." So, and he said to me at the start when he was like, "Oh, I want. Do you want to do MMA?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can, but yeah, of course I want to fight again." And then I think it wasn't long after he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have you pro in a year." I was like, is that even possible?" Okay, so I've kind of just put my faith in him the whole time and really just like trusted and believed in what he said. So I think I would have been turning pro. I might have had like maybe one more amateur fight, but then obviously the Warrior Series came along, and so yeah, that was the pro debut on a massive stage. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, before we get into the your One Warrior Series debut, I wanted to go back to talk about Ryan and you having
Hmm.
faith in him and him having faith in you, telling you like, "Hey, I'm gonna have you pro in 1 year." How much of a how much has that motivated you, and how much has that allowed you to grow, to have someone have so much faith in you? Because that's hard to find in anything in your life, is
Yeah,
to have somebody that's not your family believe in you so much.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's everything. I don't think I would be where I am today without him and his faith and his belief and his support. Like he's an incredible coach. Yeah. So I think, yeah, everything I am today is 100% because of his belief. So
Yeah,
it's very special.
he puts in everything. You know, I know Ryan. You know, I've spoke to him many
Yeah.
times, and he puts in everything, man. It's incredible what he can do. He's like, I don't know. I don't know how he has so much time in his day to do everything that he does. It's you'd probably
He
know better than
doesn't.
anybody.
Yeah.
And he fights,
He's
which is incredible. And he fights too, like often.
crazy. Yeah, often. Um, yeah, he is a special human being, and I don't know how he does it, but he's passionate and he loves it, and it's just a part of who he is, and he does. He gives everything. So we're all very fortunate.
Now, the One Warrior series, the story is they have tryouts. I believe in Sydney, right?
Hmm.
You and
Yeah,
Ryan go. They see
yeah,
you. They're like, "Oh, we gotta pick this girl. We gotta pick her up. You know, we gotta get her on the One Warrior series." They snatch you up. They make you debut in April, right, against Claudia
yeah,
Diaz, another girl
yeah.
that I know. I've interviewed her before too, and she's a great fighter. You know, she's
Okay.
another prospect just like you. And you go in there and you put you beat the brakes off of her in the standing, striking, and she's also a striker, right?
Yeah,
And you get the stoppage. You know, you didn't even have to stop her. I believe the doctor stopped her, right?
the doctor stopped it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
talk
was
about that
tough.
performance. Yeah, talk about that.
It was funny because like the whole again, it's like a whole new experience. Not only going to a different like state in your own country, it's like a whole new country, and it's a very different experience from fighting on any other show. So, um, and a lot of people said to me like, "Oh, you're fighting Claudia," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and they're like, "Oh, so you're gonna like wrestle her and take her to the ground?" And I was like, "No, I'm just gonna strike with her and see how that goes, and we'll see." And then I got interviewed by a few people, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna, take her to the ground?" I was like, "No, no, I'll just stand and strike with her." And people were like, "Oh, are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I think before the fight, all this had happened, and I was like, "Oh my god, like what am I walking into?" Um, but yeah, it was probably one of the fights that I kind of felt the most. I was probably the most nervous just because of the new environment, but the most like confident in myself and my skills and abilities. So, and to get another stoppage was awesome. And she was tough. She
Yeah.
was so tough. She's an amazing fighter.
It's great to see that they're actually putting you against, a tough opponents instead of just kind
Mm,
of giving you some, I don't know, I don't want to like downgrade opponents from like, let's
no,
say some like fighter from like Siberia that has no experience
no
and they're
experience. Yeah,
training like 3 times a week or whatever, right? They put you in there against Claudia, who is like you said before the fight, they're interviewing you and they're telling you you're gonna go to the ground, but you have a striking background. I understand? Did they do the
yeah.
homework
So
on
I was
you?
like,
You know?
maybe not. Maybe not. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, Getting that win and the way you got that win in your debut, did it validate all the work that you put in? Especially, Ryan told you like in 1 year I'm gonna make you pro, and then you went pro and you did that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, yeah, I just proved something to myself. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy actually, the journey when you think about it. So it's only upward from here.
Yeah. Now your next fight, you're fighting
Mm.
her teammate, one of her
Yeah.
closest training partners, and a
Yeah.
totally different style of fighter. She's more of a grappler, but I feel she's more of a mixed martial artist compared to Claudia. Claudia was more of a striker.
Yeah,
Preparing
absolutely.
for, and she's from Australia also. Do you know her? Are you friends with her?
No, I don't know. Like, I've never met her before, and I don't really know her. Obviously, like everyone's friends with everyone on
Yeah.
Instagram and follows each other and stuff. But yeah, we've never spoken or anything like that. So yeah, but yeah, she seems very well rounded. So yeah,
Yeah, I think another a big test for you. In many ways, this fight could be for a contract. I see that. Do you see that? Is that kind of like the mentality you're going in with this, or do you just go in there and just like, okay, this is just another fight I need to win. I'm not even
yeah.
thinking about like getting signed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think subconsciously that's always in the back of your mind, because we've all got goals. We all want to get somewhere and make it big. Otherwise, I guess we wouldn't even do it. But yeah, it's just a fight. I just go in there and fight and do what I've got to do and try not to think too far past that. Yeah,
Now, it's been 7 months since your last fight, I
yeah,
believe, right? Around
something like
7 months,
that. April.
6 months
Yeah.
or something like that. Have you just been, working and training? What have you been doing? Have you, visited other locations other than your main gym to train a little bit to get different looks? What have you been doing?
Um, what have I been doing? Well, I had a Muay Thai fight in between, so I did that as well, but mainly just keeping at my gym. We After the Warrior Series, we went over to Bali for a little holiday, so we're at Bali MMA for a week, which was awesome. I've been because Ryan's away next week for Gamma, so I've been working with a boxing coach and a close friend of mine who he'll look after me next week while Ryan's away. So that's been really cool just to add someone else's flavor into the mix and pick up some new skills in that area. And then I'll go to a different gym next week and do some jiu-jitsu and stuff as well. So yeah, it'll be a bit of a different camp, not having like your coach right there and kind of like a critical time before a fight. But I'm kind of looking forward to it as well. So pick different things from different people.
Speaking with Ryan, he doesn't really focus on the opponent.
Mm.
He's a guy that,
For him,
for his
yeah.
fighters, he's just like,
Yeah.
you're gonna go in there and fight. You're gonna go in there and improvise and adjust to the situation. And you did that very well in your first fight. Is that the strategy going into this fight also? Same thing. You're gonna go in there, improvise, and get the finish.
Um, he doesn't really watch everyone for himself too much, but he definitely puts a lot of work into our opponents and watching them. So I guess we've got a bit of a game plan. But yeah, like you said, who knows where the fight's going to go? It's MMA. That's the exciting thing about it. It can go anywhere. It can change in a split second. So just be ready for any and all situations, really. Yeah. So adjust on the fly.
Yeah. What is the best case scenario for you? You go in there. What is the best outcome? How would you like for this fight to end? And when would you like for this fight to end?
I guess I'd like another finish. Um, Whether it happens in this fight or not, I think just one day I would like a clean knockout, not a TKO. That'd be pretty cool. Also, a submission, winning by submission would be really awesome too. So again, I don't know how this fight's going to go, but yeah, so either of those two would be really, really cool.
2020, is around the corner.
Mm.
Are you comfortable just fighting for the One Warrior Series? It seems like they're going to start sending the fighters to other countries. It seems like I believe that they're going to
Mm.
start having One Warrior Series in other locations, other than Singapore.
Well,
Um,
they had one in Tokyo, so
yeah,
possibly.
they had. Yeah, yeah. So, are you interested? Does that intrigue you? Just to be fighting on One Warrior Series and kind of building your record and gaining more experience at that level compared to just jumping right into one championship.
Um, I think whatever opportunity comes your way, you've got to take it, and it's coming to you for a reason. So at the moment, I'm good with One Warrior Series, but I'm definitely setting my heights for much higher. So yeah.
Are you watching the division in one championship? Are you studying those girls? Are you putting a target on them?
No. I don't know if I'd say I'm studying or putting a target on them or anything, but I definitely watch the fights and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. Or, oh, yeah, I could do this here, or this would be a good plan against them and stuff like that. So I definitely watch, and that thought's in the back of my mind, but I wouldn't say I'm like sitting there taking notes and studying. And yeah, so.
From me speaking with you for the first time, I get the feeling that the way you approach it is that you're serious about, your fight career, but at the same time, you're very relaxed in where you're at right now with your career, and you see big things happening in the future, but you're just letting it come to you. It's not like you're in a rush. Am I fair to say that?
Yeah, I think so. But there's definitely a part of me that feels in a rush a little bit. I've said it to Ryan heaps of times, like, I'm too old, like I'm running out of time. And he's like, no, you've got plenty of time. Um, yeah, I'm not in a rush, but I want things to happen and I want those opportunities to come my way. But I'm just maybe I'm just not one in life that like tries to force stuff too much. So just like everything happens for a reason, I guess. And yeah, I just keep chipping away, and I'll get there. I'll get there in the end.
Right now, do you
Mm.
feel like you're ready, that you're capable of competing with the top girls in the division in one championship?
I think I've got a lot of learning and growing to do, as do we all. But I think I could stand with them and give it a damn good shot. So I think I'd put up a really hard fight.
All right, Kristy. Well, we get to see you step back into the ring, not the
Into the ring.
cage, and show us what you have been working on the last 5 or 6 months, 7 months.
Mhm.
And I'm really interested in this fight. I think it's a great fight, great matchmaking, and good luck on the fight. Good luck on the future, and enjoy the holidays after it's all over.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.